Squishy Robotics provides life-saving, cost-saving information in real time through our rapidly deployable mobile sensor robots. We have traction in a wide range of customer markets, starting with the first responder market, going to the military, electric utilities, and the industrial Internet of Things. Hi, I'm Alice Egagino, and I'm CEO of Squishy Robotics and a professor of mechanical engineering at the University of California at Berkeley, where I started the first integrated AI hardware lab on the campus. Our leadership team has deep experience in robotics, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and product design. Today, I'll be joined by Douglas Hutchings, our lead mechatronics engineer, who can work with you in the Q&A session. This is a typical use case in our first responder and IoT market. This derailment of a chlorine tanker happened in the dead of night in South Carolina. The disaster response team didn't know what chemicals were in the tanker, nor how dangerous the gas plume would be. This lack of life-saving information led to 9 fatalities and over 600 injuries. This was a problem Squishy Robotics could have solved with faster situation awareness. But this is how Squishy Robotics comes to the rescue. Our sensor robots can be rapidly deployed by aerial vehicles. We have tested our stationary platform a drop of up to 1,000 feet or 300 meters. They can survive the landing and can continue to submit critical information to first responders even before they arrive, so they can know and prepare for what they are walking into. Squishy robots are equipped with 6 cameras and provide instant 360-degree visual data. And they carry a customizable module of sensors and communication hardware. Data analytics identify the most critical hazards in real time. Squishy Robotics achievements have earned great press, and this has helped us in our customer development. We're now working with the largest and most influential fire departments in the United States. This photo shows our work in the Houston area, the petrochemical capital of the United States. We're working with them on emergency response in the industrial Internet of Things. This shows our product platform roadmap. We are currently testing in the field our stationary robots with customers, and our mobile robot is being tested in the lab now. We have a technology strategy to put rotors on the rods and expand to aerial ground hybrid motion, and we also will be working on a floating robot. This is our roadmap for our distributed computing architecture that blends edge computing and data fusion for local decision making with the ability to create mesh networks for communication. In the longer term, cloud computing will improve our data analytics over time. So what I'd like to do is move to a video to show you Squishy Robotics in action. So in summary, Squishy Robotics provides life-saving, cost-saving information in real time through our rapidly deployable mobile sensor robots. This video shows one of our demonstrations at the LA County Fire Department. A robot is dropped by a drone into a simulated hazardous material emergency caused by an overturned truck. And here you see Squishy Robot being carried by a drone with its sensors on it, being dropped into the hazardous material situation where it can measure the gases that are coming out of that tanker truck. So again, Squishy Robotics provides life-saving, cost-saving information in real time through a rapidly deployable mobile sensor robots. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Alice, for that wonderful presentation. And as Alice mentioned, we will have Doug with us to answer questions. So Doug, are you on the line?
Right here.
Awesome. Hi, Doug. How are you?
I need more coffee, and I got it right here, so I'll go.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad you're good to go. So to answer one of our first questions, the first question is, how do you work with your customer, and what is the business model?
Yeah, that's a great question. So working with customer changes depending upon business segment, but it's obviously quite tailored to their individual use cases and their individual specific needs. What we specialize in is the ability to deploy sensors downrange without sending somebody down there to deploy them themselves. But this means that the sensor package changes for every user. For the fire departments, for example, there's an industry standard called a 4-gas sensor. That is the initial assessment tool that our robots can carry and transmit information back. We're located in California, and so an idea that we have is working with public utilities for early wildfire detection. where it'd be carrying smoke sensors, particulate sensors, and thermal cameras for early wildfire detection. So it involves working very closely with the customer to identify what sensor package will be useful to them in their use case. The business model is set up between a initial hardware sale, a yearly annual calibration, which is considered standard in some of the industries that we're working in, as well as recurring revenue through a post-event analytics package that helps you generate reports and understand what happened in the situation after the fact.
Got it. So we have two questions that came in. I'll ask you them both. Hopefully we can get it before the 2 minutes is up. So the first question is there a technology difference between your robots / sensors compared to others?
Yeah, so obviously our robot looks quite unique compared to, well, pretty much anything else on the world, right? Normally robots have trank trads or whatever. What we really specialize in is the ability to use the drones that are becoming ever more prevalent in our lives to deploy sensors to a ground-based situation. As a concrete example, no fire department is ever going to land their $40,000 drone in the middle of a hazmat scene where there's nobody around next to a down power line. But they will drop our robots there. And so that's why we provide a very unique operational and technological advantage compared to status quo solutions. Technological, let alone sending a human downrange themselves.
Got it. Okay. Last quick question is, let's say, what is the cost of a squishy robot? And also, let's say, can they be treated as disposable if they're sent to an area that's too hazardous to retrieve from later?
Again, this is really, really industry specific. For example, the hazmat versions cost about $5,000 a unit, which it's not nothing, but compare that to a cost of putting a firefighter in a hospital for 2 weeks. These hazmat suits are so hot that it's not uncommon to lose 10, 15 pounds of body weight in sweat and then end up in the hospital for 2 weeks due to heat stroke if you're wearing these in the middle of a Florida summer. So in terms of disposability, they're not designed to be disposable unless you drop them into a really serious situation. But if you're being dropped into a, I don't know, hydrogen fluorine spill, you've got bigger problems than spending $5,000 for another robot.
Got it. Great. Thank you so much, Doug. I appreciate
Absolutely.
you being here with us. There's a few more questions in the chat, which I think you're able to answer. So we'll let you go ahead and do that. So I appreciate it. And I think it's time
Actually,
for our next. Oh,